Hey, what's up, fellow YouTubers, fellow toy nuts, and toy collectors? This is Odie, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. So as you can see here in front of you, this is a versus to see which one I like more, and hopefully you guys can also comment and have your opinion. So to my right over here, we have the Hasbro Titanium / Galoob Micro Machines Millennium Falcon with the new antenna, with the new sensor array. It's no longer round, it's square, because if you remember from Return of the Jedi, Lando Calrissian knocked it out as he almost hit a pillar, or actually not almost, he did hit a pillar, a pipe, something, and then knocked down the whole sensor array. So then here to the left of me is the Mattel's Hot Wheels Millennium Falcon. So obviously, as you can see already in the package, there is a difference in scale. The Hot Wheels are a little bit bigger. But yeah, we'll have to just see which one's more detailed and which one I may like more, and so forth. So in terms of packaging, just because I didn't want to do two separate videos and then join them, the Titanium, this is number one, of course, the best. It should always be first. You have some details here on the vehicle, some blueprints basically. You got the Disney insignia, Hasbro, some warnings and stuff like that, some choking parts, I guess. Number one in the back again. And yeah, I didn't buy too many of these. And the first release was 10. The next release now is 1 through 17. I think I only have 3 total. I just don't really care to buy them all. If these were in scale, I think it would be an unbelievable collection, but they're not. It'd be impossible to do too. But yeah, so that's why I don't collect them all. I just collect my favorite vehicle, and that's it. Alright, so that's that one. And then for the Hot Wheels, the Hot Wheels definitely has a little bit more color, and that's very, very Hot Wheels Mattel-like, So they have a picture of it like they do with their actual cars. They still obviously let you know it is a Disney brand, Millennium Falcon. The Force Awakens, pretty, it's very prominent there. It comes with this real cool flight stand. Now this does also come with a stand when you'll see it. This one's kind of like a frost, transparent, unlike the 4-pack, which was black, but I'll give you a comparison to that too. And then the back of this shows a young person, having their finger there, and you can simulate, flighting and all that good stuff, and how it's going to be on the stand. What else is available? You got the First Order, you got the regular TIE fighter, X-Wing, and a Jedi Starfighter. And I'll kind of get into these a little bit more, not that I picked them up, but I'm just going to give you my opinion on them. So that's another thing. So anyway, so yeah, let's crack these open and let's check them out. Alrighty guys, we are back. I put a little bit more light on them because I do have a black background in there, like almost like a porcelain white. So as you can see them here next to each other, obviously the stands are very different, so you're always kind of gonna have that in terms of scale and size, but that's okay. I kind of like it that way, to be honest. Actually, it's easier to display instead of all of them being the same level field. So I like the whole kind of staircase look. That's kind of cool. So that's that. This side profile here, and obviously you can definitely see the size difference, and I'll bring them over this way like that. So there you go. So that's actually touching the floor, as you can see. So there you go. By, I would say, half an inch maybe. Diameter wise, let's see, does this get swallowed up? Of course it does. Let's move that out of the way for a second. So I think that's pretty much in the middle there. So it's like its little brother. So there you go. So alright, what are my thoughts now? Obviously I can show you a little bit more on it. Let me just take that out. So as you can see, it is frosted transparent, pretty cool. So the landing gear is already out on it, so it can actually stand, sit by itself. So it's like landed on a planet or Cloud City, whatever. But yeah, the landing gear is out. You have your laser turrets there, where Luke says, "I hit one. Yeah, don't get cocky, kid." Or great, don't get cocky, kid, whatever. The laser turrets are very different from the original. It almost seems like it's not 4 barrels anymore. It almost seems like it's like 2. Or maybe they're just a little bit smaller. Obviously, the big thing is the new sensor array. I like it. It's obviously more modern. The original one was 100, it was round, 360-degree round dish. This one is, again, more modern to today's technology and whatever not, so that's kind of cool. And it seems more what's the word that I'm looking for? More aerodynamic. Just because, again, it's shorter, so it's kind of almost, it doesn't seem it's that much taller than the actual turret. Now you're in space, it's a vacuum, so that really wouldn't matter. But still, though, when he's inside of a planet, it probably would. So the round dish was a lot bigger and not as aerodynamic, obviously. And it does turn 360, which is pretty sweet. So the turrets on the top, and of course on the bottom, which is really nice. So in terms of detail, this is really nice. Now, this is 100% die cast, top and bottom. All right. So let me just put him to the side, and we'll show you the Hot Wheels. So the Hot Wheels comes with this funky flight stand. Obviously, my fingers are too big, so they don't fit. The best I can do is my pinky, but it's a little uncomfortable. It wiggles too much. But if you want to play with your son, if you have a younger, or a sibling, whatever, then you can still do that or whatever. So it's cool. It is what it is. But other than that, obviously, it's just a really nice stand also, and it's kind of more of a crystal clear. And it pegs right there at the bottom. And I gotta tell you, that's a very tight peg. So I don't know if yours will be that tight, but be careful you don't break it. So we'll put this to the side, actually. Now, this one here, it's missing a few things. Obviously, the landing gear is not out. So in terms of it being in flight mode, it's perfect. Of course, when you put it down, you have that. So it's not, it doesn't give you this really nice look here. So you don't have to have a stand to display this. You can just kind of keep it on the table like that, on your desk or whatever. So that's one thing already. But again, it's in flight mode, so it's still really nice looking. Who wants to fly the Millennium Falcon when it's landing gear out? It just doesn't look right, So there you go. So in that, if you're looking for something that's in flight mode, this is the way to go. In terms of its screws, you got 2 versus 4, plus then you have that hole there. Now, one thing that this is missing or lacking is the fact that, unfortunately, the laser turret is embedded or it's part of the casting of the vehicle. So you can't do anything with it. So you can't, you can't turn it around. It's really small, too, as you can see here. Is it maybe a little bit more better detail and more in size comparison to the real thing? Possibly. I haven't seen the movies in a long time, but we'll have to wait to see when we see the new one. Because maybe the laser turrets have been changed for the new movie also. So that could be it. Maybe these are too old school, and they're too big, and these are just do a better job. But again, they're part of the mold, so you can't do nothing with them. So again, it's missing that. In terms of the saucer section, or not the saucer section, I'm sorry, the array, sensor array, they seem to be almost exactly the same size. A little bit different molding. Obviously, this is a little bit, I think this is a little bit nicer, actually. This is a little bit big, as you can see there. It does turn 360, though, all the way around. Now, in terms of the cockpit, that looks nice. Same as that one. The sides here, these are actually, a lot of people don't know this, but if you own the 3D cutout of the Millennium Falcon, the book, it does tell you that these are escape pods. So in terms of the escape pods, they look pretty good. I want to say these look more like the original, not these, but again, these could be new ones. And again, this is part of the new film, so who knows? That's a little bit tighter here. This is a little bit wider, as you can see. The engines look really wide. I don't know, this just looks a little bit better. I think, because maybe this was made over 15 years ago, this mold. They just have it right. Whoever originally, did this. So it just looks a little bit nicer than the Hot Wheel. I like the Hot Wheels for the sheer size of it, but it's a little bit too wide though. So, and then the other thing, the last thing that I'll have to mention, unfortunately, and this is something that's happening with Hot Wheels, with anything you pretty much purchase, unless you're buying like a collector's edition. Even for this line here, so they can make it widely available for everyone and have that really cool $3.99 cost, because that's what they cost. Only the top portion is die cast, but the bottom is plastic, unfortunately, guys. So 100% plastic. So that's kind of a bummer. And from what I can tell with my fingers here, this is still die cast, which is nice. So it's only the bottom portion here that is actually, you know, pressed onto the and this, you know, onto this and then riveted with these screws or whatever the heck you call them. So in terms of, again, you know, some of the things do look nicer on the Hot Wheels. I gotta say, I think the material on the ship here and the plates, they look a little bit nicer. Like, this looks like a huge mess, but when you see them here, you can see a little bit. It seems like they're more detailed. Maybe because it's cleaner. It's possible. You know. But then again, something about this being 100% die cast that just makes it look a little bit nicer, if you like that look. Now these are the kind of like the smokestacks of the Falcon for the engines, for the light engines. So they're pretty dirty. Obviously, the ship is really old. Maybe hand just doesn't get to clean it as much as you like to. So that's one thing that they did here that this one doesn't have. This is just way too clean, as you can see there. Now the comparison isn't over yet, folks. I do have some of the original, well, not original releases, but the original Falcon. I want to show you that. So again, the stand. This is part of the 4-pack, and this is what comes in the single packs. Nice transparent, and it is bigger. Is it? Yeah, not the same size. So yeah, there you go. So that's that. All right, so that's one thing. So die-cast versus die-cast. Again, in terms of the dish, you can see the difference there. Let's move this guy out of the way. Move the camera a little bit more down. So as you can see here, dishes are different, a lot bigger on the original. The landing gear is also out on this one, but it doesn't have that many, which is kind of cool. So they changed it up a little bit. So as you can see here, the landing gear is just 3 prongs, which is not accurate, because the original one is actually like this. So if you ever watch the scene when they're in Cloud City, it is 4 of them. And I believe that the original toy also came with 4. So there you go. So that stands a little bit better. Again, they are the exact same size. And what I like about the original one is that it's not as dirty looking. But one thing I will say, they definitely recasted this. As you can see, the middle portion here is very, very different. If you can look at that really well. This section here seems shorter, or it doesn't go around as much as it does on this one here, on the original one. As you can see, the engines or the escape pods, they're lower, so they definitely recasted it for sure. The escape pods seem bigger here. This is a lot smaller. It's more detail here in the middle than this one does. So all in all, I mean, they're the same, but they changed it up, obviously, so it's pretty cool. So again, these are both titaniums from Hasbro Galoob, and so there you go. Something to think about. You know, if you're looking to get one of these, you might say, oh, maybe I want this one, I want that one. So I like them both a lot because they're both very different. But it could just be that the Millennium Falcon itself has changed. I doubt it. I think this is more like the original, but it could be, you know, maybe they added more plating, so that's why it kind of looks like this. But we'll just have to see when we see the movie. Obviously, I'll have to watch the original 3 before I go see the new movie. So that's one thing that I'll be doing, just to kind of like really look at it. So when I see the new flick, I can kind of compare it and see if I can see the changes on the new film. But there you go, guys. Now it doesn't stop there. I also do have the original release of the Hot Wheels one. That also came with that real cool flight stand. The stand is not as tight. Again, no flight stands, not flight stands, landing gear. Because this is a lot newer for the Hot Wheels, it's exactly 100% the same. All they had to change was, honestly, just a sensor array. That's it. So you got the round one on top and the new flat, square one in the bottom, or rectangle, whatever. The escape pods there, exactly the same. Engine, same color pretty much. It's exact same thing. They're both, again, on top die cast, bottom is plastic. So these are very, very 100% the same. Now comparing this to the original, well, let's actually do this to the original. Again, molded laser turrets. These you can actually play with, turn them around. The bottom here, this section here is a lot bigger. See, this is the Hot Wheels. This seems a little bit closer to this one, I think, maybe. Let's see. Wrong one. No, it's a lot closer to the newer one. So we'll just have to see. I know there's experts out there that might own all these too. Excuse me. And so you might, please chime in and say, hey, no, actually the first one's more accurate, or the new one's going to be more accurate to the original movies too. So that'll be cool to know. I could have done some research, but I figured I'd just show you these anyway. I will say though, I do like the look of this more. I just feel like the engines are just, it looks perfect. So. So there you go, guys. Not much more to say on these. I think I've pretty much said anything and everything I could possibly say. These are a lot of fun. I believe there's a new Disney higher scale coming out soon. I can't wait to grab it. They're like in the $10 to $15, $20 range. So hopefully they'll do that soon, because I don't have the original bigger scale version to the titanium, the biggest one they did. It's pretty pricey. I don't know, maybe someday I'll just kind of hunker down and just get it anyway. But for now, I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of waiting to see if I ever get a good deal. I do check once in a while, but I just haven't seen it. And as I want to say, it's actually the size of all four of these put together. So it's pretty big. It's like, it's huge. So guys, thank you so much for watching this comparison review. I hope I didn't mumble too much. Hope I got to all the points that I needed to get. And please comment. As always, guys, thank you so much. Please rate, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Peace. Later.